Hello, guys. Well, we are here and we are just about to start. Just Shivku is just joining in, and we will begin immediately. I hope you guys are good. Who all have joined the link? We are about to start. Just waiting for Shivku to join, and we will begin. Very good. Chalo. Before we start off, there are one or two questions I can take up. I'm sure there are a lot of questions I will not be able to take up because too many questions might just come in. I will try to take some. Very interesting. Ritvik Mathur is saying I started working on 3rd August last year, and if I fill form with work experience till 31st July, I won't get the advantage of 1 year, whole year of experience. 3 दिन कम पड़ रहा है. 3 days are less. What to do, sir? So, Ritvik, the best thing that you could do is, probably get a time machine, go back in time, and join 3 days early, maybe on 31st of July. But that's not possible, so don't fret, don't worry about it, right? It doesn't really matter, okay? 1 year, 2 years number hai. Of course, there is a slight benefit if there is an exact 2 year or 22 months or 24 months of experience, but then doesn't matter. You will still be able to talk about it in your interviews, and don't worry about it. Absolutely don't worry about it, right? Okay, one strong suggestion from my end: keep your questions very nice and happy, right? Don't put wrong things that you shouldn't. Otherwise, we have our team, and we will have to probably discontinue you from the. We will not discontinue the session. We'll just discontinue you from the session, right? So please don't do that. Uh, Sir, what to put in graduation marks as final year students? ये सब कुछ बताएंगे यार. We'll tell you everything, right? Okay, so I think we are good to go. Let us start with the whole discussion, right? Yeah, in the meantime, I'm sure Shivku is already here in the backstage, and I'm sure he'll join in a couple of minutes on the stage as well, right? Yes, there he is. Hi, Shivku. Good evening.
Hi, Sazeal. Hi, everyone.
So we are good to start, and uh, so Shivku, we will start with what we've done so far, right? We have already released a video yesterday. Uh, the video was about the step-by-step process of filling the CAT 2023 form. I am sure some of you have seen this video. Those who haven't, please check in the description of this particular video, and you will find the link. I will also request my team to share it in the chat, so in case someone has missed it, we can attend. So that is the first step, that you just go through that video. And today we are going to take a lot of question and answer. So we'll try to cover some part of the step-by-step process here as well, right, Shivku? So let's begin. Going on to the first part. So that is what I was talking about to you, right? The first thing that we are going to do is the step-by-step form filling process. So just Shivku, the next couple of slides, as we know, is about the CAT website, CAT IIM website, and how to go and where to register and stuff like that. So I'll just switch on to that slide, and we can take the students through the
Yeah.
process.
So just to add a few things before we start off,
Yes,
I
please.
think for all the people, some of the most commonly asked queries, right? This appears every year, year after year, is the question. of I see uh, queries asking, should I include ancillary marks? Right. I think CAT has been very categorical in stating that whatever marks appear in your mark sheet, right, whether it is included by your university in the final admission process within your university or not, right, just doesn't matter. Whatever is there in your mark sheet, all marks have to be included. Whether it is included as a part of aggregate or not is a different story. For example, I, the best of five for me might appear as a 95%, but if I include the sixth subject, it becomes 93%. What you must put there is very clearly 93%. It's good to do this, because once you get a call at that point in time, the institutes take very exceptional uh, things onto this. I mean, no data should be false. Um, so that's one. Second is choice of colleges. I think it's very important when you are filling it up. Don't fill this in a rush. Of course, make sure at least your personal details there is no mistake, right? And the CAT does, and after all the forms are filled, after the date is over, they do open it out for probably a few days for you to make corrections, but those corrections you cannot make if you have put any of your personal details wrong, right? For example, I'm a general category, I don't have a certificate. Well, or say, let's say I'm a OBC, I don't have a certificate, right? Hoping that you will have a certificate is a different story, but if the documents are not there and you put it up, right, you may have to forego many of these things, right? So please do not take the risk of filling in something that you do not have um, documentary proof of. And I think this is very critical, so that it knocks off a lot of pain from your head um, at a later point in time. Okay, so Sazeal, you can just start off. I will come in wherever I think I need to come in.
Right. So, okay. So let's go by the step-by-step form filling. A couple of important points that Shivku's already shared. I want to stress again on the fact that
I think you
please
need to be a
don't.
little louder, Sazeal.
Okay, okay. Am I audible better now? The audience, please give me a feedback if I'm audible good enough. No?
I'm finding your thing a little low, right? Okay, fine.
Okay, okay. In case I'll wait for the feedback in case students are saying that
Go
they
on,
are also not
continue.
able to hear. Yeah. So when we start with the step-by-step form filling, okay, people can hear me, sir. Yeah. So okay. Uh, the most important thing that Shivku has talked about is please do not fake your data or don't put wrong data anywhere, because that even if you get a good percentile and a good amount of calls, from top colleges, top institutes, you will face a lot of problem later on in the later stages. So please make sure that you don't fake. So I would like to reiterate that. Having said that, so today that's exactly what we are going to discuss. What is the preparedness when I go for form filling? There are certain things I will require, I will have to keep with me, right? And be ready with. So that is exactly what we are going to discuss, and let's commence right there. Let me take you through the how the website and everything looks like when you start this process, right? The catiim.ac.in, cat iim website, right? So this is how it will look like. You have important dates right here. Yesterday is 2nd August, was 2nd August, and that is when we started our registration process. So that is when I filled my form and made the video for you guys yesterday. Okay, so August 2nd, the last date is September 13th. My first and foremost suggestion, and which I cannot emphasize more, is that do not wait for the last moment to fill your forms. Please don't wait. Okay, like Shivku said, there's no hurry. Don't do it in a hurry. Collect your certificates, collect everything that you have to, and then sit and fill the form. But do not delay it beyond what is required, right? So please make sure we are not going to wait till September 13th, or we are not going to wait even till September hits, right? And way before that we'll have filled the form, all of us. Okay. So having said that, we'll get our admit cards on October 25th, and of course the D day is November 26th, when we will sit for the exam. right? Now, on the right side of the screen, where you can see the orange, square that rectangle that I've made, right? That is a place where you're supposed to register. Of course, if you have already registered for previous cat exams, if you appeared for them, right, you can you can find your old login credentials and log in through that and check your last year's scorecards and stuff like that, right? But as of now, this is the registration link, the first one. All right. So once we click on this link and we enter the registration window, right? So this is what we see immediately, where uh, we see the. Actually, let me maximize my screen so I can see it better. So your basic information details, your name, your birth date, your email address, your phone number, right, and so on and so forth, will be there. So I want to just quickly tell you something which I faced yesterday. There is sometimes the code. This code of mobile number which you can see is not something that you can enter by yourself. It gets updated by itself when you enter the country, when you mention the country. But for me, it was not updating. So all I had to do was refresh, reselect the country. So you go to other country and then come back to India and it will start. So don't. So if anywhere you get stuck or you have a problem with things, please make sure you don't panic. Okay, that's the worst thing you could do. Starting in form filling, in cat, as such, you shouldn't panic. During the exam, you shouldn't panic. But even in the form filling, sometimes you will feel that pressure. Ke, I don't have this information, or where do I get it? I don't. So chill, relax, and think where you can get whatever information you've been asked, where you can get it from, and then go forward. Okay. So this is something that happened yesterday. So that's live in my memory, right? So once you're done with that, this thing opens up, and so as you can see in the menu above, right, you start filling your personal details. So your name, your father's name, mother's name, date of birth, your address and all of that. So all the personal details, once you fill, right, apart from the registration details that you've already mentioned, then you go on to so you cannot straight away jump to the second or third tab. Okay, once you fill the first one, there is an option of save and next down below. You save it. Okay, because it might happen that in between the form filling process, you might suddenly remember that you don't have any particular information. If you don't have a particular information, what do? You have to go and fetch it. When you have to go and fetch it, make sure that the previous thing is saved. Otherwise, you'll have to fill it all over again. Okay.
And make sure that the names that you enter here are exactly same as what would be there in your mark sheet or any of the identity card, right? You don't, otherwise there's always a panic that acha, my iCard that I'm carrying does not carrying the same name. Please do not get into any of this. The iCard, the form name, the mark sheet name, everything has to be the same.
Right. So, in fact, it is mentioned here in the registration also what Shivku is saying. Candidate name should be entered exactly as it appears in the 10th or SSC certificate. Try this. Okay. Try to stick to
And make
this
sure
one.
that your iCard also has the same thing.
Yeah, and in case there is a difference between the iCard, Shivku, and their 10 certificate or the name, so what they can do is they can have an affidavit ready that you are the same person. That helps sometimes, because I remember in the older times, NMIMS used to have this issue where thoda sa bhi agar naam change hai, if you have a Kumar in your name or something, that doesn't match your ID card, it has a problem. There's a problem that happens. So it's better to have an affidavit also later on. This is no hurry, but the name should match your ID card or your certificates, right? So okay, so coming back, you fill your personal details, go on to the academic details, you fill in, you go on to, now we'll talk about that in the coming time, that academic details may what all should be filled and how it should be filled, right? Then you go on to the work experience. Then you fill you check the programs meaning, for example, I want to apply to IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, Bodh Gaya, Jammu, whatever. So whatever IIMs, because see, understand one thing, when you fill CAT form, IIMs ke liye you don't have to fill up a separate form. Okay, IIMs is a part, because CAT is for the IIMs, right? It's conducted for the IIMs. It is conducted by the IIMs essentially. So you have to only tick which courses or which colleges you want to get into, and in every college you might have multiple courses which might or might not be relevant to you. I'm sure Shivku and I will talk about that also in some time, right? So for example, just to give an example, IIM Ahmedabad has at least two courses that might be relevant to you guys. For example, there's a PGP course, postgraduate program, which is the main core MBA course, and then there is an ABM program, agribusiness management, FABM course, food and agribusiness management, right? And then there could be an executive program also, and there will be a fellowship, a PhD program also, and so on and so forth. So you might have 3 4 programs under IIM Ahmedabad, right? So it's no use taking all of them. However, that's a safe thing to do. But it's right. You might want to mark the ones, you might not want to miss out on the ones which are relevant for you. Okay, so
Make
that
sure
is.
that the when you're filling it, the safest thing, as Sazeal said, is to fill in as many as possible, so that later after cat you're not regretting ki kash mein fill kar deta. For example, a course like ABM, Agri Business Management, right? The necessary criteria is not just you need to be a BSc agriculture guy. Even a engineer, even a non-engineer, all these guys can actually, uh, even a non-agricultural background person can also apply to these courses, right? It's just that at the point of interview you may be asked, is there any relationship that you have with the agri economy, or have you lived in villages, have you had any interaction with farmers? So those are the things. So if I come from a background, family background, doing BCom, but my family background is in agriculture, even though I have not done BSc agriculture, I should definitely apply for it, because then it gives you a chance to go to colleges like I am Ahmedabad and I am Lucknow. So please be clear about it.
So just to add on to what Shivku rightly said, right? Either you have a connection with that course, be it agribusiness management, or like we have sustainability management ka course in Lucknow and so on. Either you have a connection to it, or you have some kind of a sensitization for it. That at least the college would want to check. And even if you don't have it, sometimes students even fill forms, कि I am Ahmedabad है तो भर देना है मुझे दोनों course. Fair enough. It's at the end you have to prove how you are relevant to that course. So and only then you can get through. So either way, you can, nothing wrong in trying again, right? So yeah. uh, so that is about the programs, right? Then you have a test city. So in which city it is that you want to take your exam? There are 6 options to fill up, right? 6 cities, and it is compulsory. You have to fill all 6 cities. So if, for example, I am in Delhi right now and I fill up Delhi as my first option, in case there is a problem in Delhi tomorrow and the test doesn't happen, I have a second place. Let's say I put it Gurgaon, and third is Noida, and fourth is Mumbai, let's say, and whatever. So I have 6 options. So in the given cities, so that I don't miss my cat, whatever happens. So you have test city ka option, and then you go for payment. 2,400 rupees is the fee, right? And we make the payment. So this is the basic form. Not too much, nothing great. A lot of information required, but it is all relevant information, right? So Shivku, that is about the step by step form filling process for now. And now I would like to get into some specific agenda that we have to talk about.
So should we pick up some of these questions before that?
Let's do that. Yes.
So Vedant says only 12th marks rewarded by the recognized board. So Rohit and Vedant, basically, if your board, right, gives you only 12th marks, you will just put the 12th marks. If your board gives you an aggregate of 11th and 12th, and that's what appears in your class 12th mark sheet, you will put that mark sheet. So it has to be very unambiguous, where your 12th mark sheet, the mark sheet that you get at the end of class 12th, is what you actually fill in as your mark. Manish, don't worry about it. So if your SSC sheet, SSC certificate, or your class 12 certificate, CBSE certificate, uh, whatever is the name of your mother that appears, please just put that, right? Because I don't think that normally creates problems. It's only about your iCard, right? They're going to check your iCard, right? You need to be very clear about it.
Okay.
Non-IIM colleges will also, they will have their own dates, right? Now, many of the non-IIM colleges will have its own dates. SPJN will have its own date, right? MDI will have its own dates. All these guys do take the CAT scores, right? But they will have their own dates, and you have to keep track of when they are coming out with their dates.
So I just want to add to that for the students, right? So for CAT, you have a form filling date, a last date, a starting date, and an end date, right? Similarly, for all exams, be it ZAT, SNAP, NMAT, and so on, we'll also have a date of when the form comes out and the last date of form filling. But apart from that, some colleges affiliated to them, like non-IIMs, right? As you're saying with CAT, right? Each of them will have its own date when the form is released and the last date of filling the form. So we will have to make sure, first of all, there's a step-by-step process. And I actually, we were discussing about this, that we will have a separate session of college form filling also coming up for you, sometime, some days down, right, where we will discuss these things. So the first thing to do is decide how many colleges, which colleges are the ones which you want to fill up forms for, and then find the dates. Go to the previous year's data, find the dates form is expected to come out and expected to end. Keep a sort of a repository or a Excel sheet of that, right? And then when the forms come out, when you're expecting it, that let's say this particular form comes out in October, you know that it comes out in October, so be alert at that time. So I think that's a good way to go about it.
Okay. How to change
One more,
graduation CGPA to percentage?
uh, one
Sorry.
I want to answer that question. Actually, the 12th mark awarded wala jo question tha, any
Hmm.
marks which are given to you, percentage marks, CGPA, whatever we are talking about for 10th 12th graduation, whatever you've done, right? Please make sure, and that is what something that we wanted to discuss also going forward, that there is a way it is calculated, right? For example, in a college, if there is a CGPA given out of 10, or sometimes out of 8.33, or sometimes out of 4.33, right? So there is a particular way of calculation, right? So how to convert the CGPA into percentage and so on. Now that is generally mentioned on your mark sheet. It is mentioned on your college website or your university website, right? Either of these three places or more, you will find this answer, right? So you will have to go and find this answer.
The same Ritvik is true with a 10th CGPA. If I have a 10 CGPA, it is not equal to 100%. It's, I think, 94 or 95%. CBSE has this conversion ratio very clearly mentioned, right? Meghraj. Okay, some of you. So if there is no, if your university does not have a conversion formula, right? Most universities have conversion formula, right? Which means I have a 10 CGPA. What does it mean when it convert into percentages? Most universities have. If your university doesn't have, just multiply it by 10, which means if I have a CGPA of 10, I mean, we can probably take it as 100%, right? If there is nothing that is mentioned in your university. So you must make sure that you ask your university guys before making any entry. Sir, for the percentage, should we consider marks or CGPA if nothing is mentioned on the college website? It's it's a university link to Harshita, not your college thing, right? Please go and check with your university people, right? Uh, Sazeal, just can you go back to the previous slide?
I'm so sorry, I think it
Okay,
changed.
okay,
Yeah.
ठीक है. My father's name in class 10th mark sheet. Acha, should we pick up all these questions before you move on, Sazeal?
Actually, we will be covering most of the questions if we cover these 10 points that are mentioned. So if you can take up some points first one by one, I think it will help, right? So we'll
So
come back to the
मेरे
question.
मेरे ख्याल से I think ये questions थोड़ा करके then maybe you can move to the next slide, I
Okay,
think.
sure, we can do that.
Okay. So
So yeah,
one
please.
second. You can just take. I mean, I'll just give me a second.
Okay, sir, I am in my fifth semester and fourth semester. Okay, I just lost the question. Too many questions have come in between. Sir, I am in my fifth semester and my fourth semester results are not yet declared, which is okay. Whatever results you have, take an aggregate of that till then, right? So I think that works. Okay. Mm, okay. They have formula for after 8 sem completion. The formula is not used before the completion of 8 sem. Should I do the same? Yes, use the same formula, similar formula. Okay. You always have a logic, right? So कुछ भी number नहीं लिख देंगे. You have a logic that you are using, and that logic is something that your university follows, right? So that is fair. If I use the same formula and apply it for 5 semesters or 4 semesters or whatever semesters you have done so far, maybe six in your case, right? So that works, bilkul, right?
Okay.
One request, guys. Put your question only once. If you write the same question and again and again, it is just spamming the whole thing, right? We'll take up your questions if we can.
So, Sazeal, I just sent you a message. Just take a look at it um, on your WhatsApp.
Okay.
Seventh. So those who are in the seventh sem, right, or those who are in the final year of college, you please give your mark sheet till your last year, right? So if I'm in the final year BTech, I will give till about the end of the third year. If I'm in the uh, 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 fifth term in my BCom, I will give my mark sheet till the fourth term. Completion of batch BTech, what formula? It depends on your university. Ashish, send. I have answered your question, Ashish. Okay. Mm, started working on 3rd August. Ritvik, I think that's a Shomyudeep. I think I've answered your question, sir. What to put in graduation marks as a final year student? No CGPA. I have a doubt regarding NCOBC certificate, says Sazeal. After which month or date should it be issued? I have checked everywhere on CAT but it's not mentioned anywhere. See, at the time of you appearing for the test, right? Appearing for if I've said it's a NCOBC at this stage, right, or any category, you are expected to put your upload your whatever certificate you have now, but make sure that, for instance, somebody said it is expiring on some particular date, 28th August or something like that. Please make sure that when you go for the cat, right, when you actually go there, once you get a call, at that point in time you must have the updated certificates, right? You cannot have it. So you can always say, okay, I update, it got expired and then I got renewed. So that, I don't think that should be issue. Calcutta University is not shown in the institute list. Vedant, just send a mail to them, they will include it. Normally that's what they do. Then for graduation marks, which Ayushi says fine, IMK link. By the way, when I'm talking about IMK link also, right? IMK, I saw that somebody mentioning about I am also, as I am Bangalore as a PG DBA course, right? Please make sure that you click it, which is a business analytics course, right? People getting into business analytics also end up uh, doing, getting into the um mainstream placements. That's number one. There is also a course for all those people who are humanities background. There is a course in IIM Lucknow called as LSM course, and there's a course for finance. Please make sure that you tick them. If you're somebody who's keen on doing finance, please tick the IMK finance program. If you're somebody who is a humanities background, please make sure that the LSM program is ticked in IMK, because that gives you a huge advantage of getting into these colleges. Okay. Then can a person who has completed fresher with 0 years work ex get a call from IIM with a 17 years gap and completed the graduation 2006? Deepa, I mean, uh, s- the probability is a little low, right? But I don't rule out the probability. There are people with 10 years work experience uh, uh, people who have actually worked by themselves, right? Who have gone into IIMs, right? So that's something that you must try, right? But don't, please do give it a shot. Then can a Jane come under EWS category? Yes, I think EWS category, um, just go by what is there. EWS category, a lot of people even uh, see, all universities clearly have a category of people for whom you can apply for EWS, right? So make sure that uh, you do, you're falling into that list or not. Um, Apply. Then so before Sazeal goes in, let me see if there are any other courses. Registration for non-IMs, we have talked about it. Aggregate marks, we have talked about it. Discrepancy in mother's name, we have done it. Ritwik's a question related to that. Should I hold off submitting the application until I get my CFA due mid-October? Uh, You could do that. I mean, if you still have the time for submission, don't worry about it. Make sure that you don't miss the date because of this. Can it be an issue if parents' name differ slightly? Make sure that it is in sync with what is there in your mark sheets at least. I have doubt about NCOBC after. Okay, what is the criteria for PWD? What comes under? So if you actually go to PWD categories, right? I think there are certain criteria of PWD that will be mentioned on the each of the IMs, and also in the so it is it could be different types of PWDs are there, right? I mean, somebody could have a poor sight, somebody could be congenitally blind, somebody could have some other issue, need not be a visual uh, handicap, it could be something else. So there are different categories of PWD, and
Learning
those,
disability is also counted.
yeah, correct. So there are different categories. So I don't know which category we are talking about. Criteria is not one single criteria. For different categories, there are different criteria. In 10th, if you have CGPA, JN category, that's again come is academics what to choose in 12th, like general promotion. In academics, what to choose in 12th, like general promotion. I don't know what's the meaning of that question. Then Soumya Deep, I've answered your question. BCom results, Shubham, aggregate marks of graduation, marks of the final year, right? Uh, Shubham, it must mean aggregate. Okay, I mean the mark sheet normally is a aggregate. So when whatever I get is if I finish 2 years till the end of second year, if I finish my third year BCom till the end of third year, if I finish my 4 years of BTech, end of fourth year, right? So it is always an aggregate that we are talking about. How do I fill the form for FMS? It's a separate form that you will get, right? You'll have to fill for it separately. Uh, will they have dates before the CAT exam? Many of them will probably, I mean, their deadlines might be just 1 or 2 weeks before CAT or 1 or 2 weeks after CAT. A lot of uh, um, institutes that are a second rung institutes, they have it after CAT because they expect students to come after CAT and then probably start filling it up. Is IFT accepting CAT score? That's what they have put it up, right? I think it could
We actually
IFT will
checked
be taking.
this. We called up IFT and we checked with it. As of now, definitely CAT is accepting IFT. But IFT has also told us for now that they might not be conducting IFT exam and they'll take CAT only. But let's wait and watch, is what I would like to say.
It's most likely. I mean, that's one. So if see the FMS till some point in time used to conduct its own exam, and the
Yeah.
moment they started accepting CAT scores, the quality of students who went to FMS increased drastically. To the number of people applying to FMS also went up significantly. So I would not be surprised, and I've always been wondering why IFT conducts its own test. I would be surprised if IFT does not take CAT as the admission process. Okay,
So Shubham,
Shubham.
Shubham is asking, do I have to fill separate form for FMS?
Yes, you'll have to.
Yes. So it's a college form, right? So that it's a non-IIM college form. So yes, you have to fill it up. Uh,
So, Shagun, if you have the affidavit for the change of names, don't worry about it, right? Don't you, as long as you have uh, legal documents, it's okay. We need to upload documents while filling in the forms. See, for example, while filling in the forms, they don't expect you to upload the mark sheet, right? Uh, what they would expect you is, I think, the identity that you need to put in, your photo is all that will be used while creating. So what when you're filling in the form, they're using the details to create your admit cards. So your iCard, your details, everything must be clear, and ideally try to take a photo that is latest, right? I mean, ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए 6 साल पुराना वाला फोटो आप अपलोड कर दिया, and when you go there the guy is looking at you and saying, is it really you, right? So please be take a little bit of effort doing this. All this you will not stumble if you fill it on time. And secondly, I think it's good to fill it on time because there might be you might get your preference of centers for sure, right? Or most likely, right? I wouldn't say you for sure, but more likely that you will get a preference of centers. Next.
Some people are saying that their university or college is not visible in the options, which is okay. There is an option of others also present. So there are, you can always mark other and go ahead with it. So just check it out. There might be an alternate name also that might appear in your university or college. Of course, not in Delhi University's case. It shouldn't be, right? Is what my take is. Sir, I worked as an employee in a registered startup. Okay, work experience. Let me answer this whole, right? So, work experience, there are three kinds of work experience you can have. You can have a job in a company, in a startup, or in a corporate or whatever, right? You could work for your own company. So, basically, you are into a business or you are self employed. So, there are some documents which you will have. So, for example, if you are in a job, you will have a joining letter, appointment letter, you will have you'll have salary slips, you might have a relieving letter or experience letter maybe. If you don't have an experience letter, it's okay if you don't ask for it, because that might also, you might not want to share with your company that you are appearing for cat or whatever. So that's your choice. You might have other letters, that you might have appraisal letters and increment letters or whatever, appreciation letters. So you can use all of that as a proof of employment too. A similar thing can be done for your own business. So your father, if or your uncle, whoever has a business, can also give you an appointment letter and a salary slip. So that's okay, right? So yes, a startup works. Work experience in a startup works as far as you have some of these certificates and salary slips and stuff like that.
Karan says they have a formula after the 8th sem. The formula is not used before the completion of 8th sem. Should I do the same? Use the same formula, Karan. Right.
Okay. If I have my own small business, what do I do? It's okay. You will have something, a GST certificate or some kind of a gumasta, or what, some kind of a proof that you are doing a business, and you will have an account statement. I think that should be a proof enough that you are doing something.
If you
Okay.
have registered your business, I'm sure that it will be in your name. If it's in your name, fine, right? Otherwise, there's nothing that you can do. You cannot claim anything. So, in fact, um, if you look at the work experience, right? Normally, if I am an entrepreneur, I have small shop of my own, right? Uh, this is normally not included as a part of work experience. Please be very read the work experience rules very carefully, right? Secondly, um, when you go to the interview stage, let's say if you do not have anything to suggest that there is a constant salary coming into your bank account for the job that you're doing, they don't treat it as workers, which means I am working for my family business. So if any of you is working for a family business, make sure that there is some certificate, some even if it's a appointment letter that you get from your dad or somebody, please make sure that happens. There has to be some kind of salary slip, some uh, account money that is going transferred, or your chartered accountant has to give some uh, kind of certificate. So if there is no salary certificate, if there's no regular income, they do not treat it as income. Internships are not treated as work experience. Please remember
Right.
this.
Right. Any work experience is anything which is full time after graduation. Right. It has to be full time after graduation. So that is what how the definition goes. Sir, there is one more question. The people are asking whether they have to upload my offer letter, appointment. Nothing has to be uploaded. So when I
Nothing at
fill
this
the form,
stage.
at this stage, nothing has to be uploaded, guys. The question is why we are saying all these letters and everything that you'll need is for later, because there has to be a proof of what you're putting. For example, if I put some random date, I don't remember the date of offer or date of joining, and I put some random date, right? It is going to go wrong in terms of the data, right? So you have your data right, and for that you have to have the letter. That is what we are trying to say. So no one is going to upload it right away in the CAD form. Only things you
Sorry,
have to upload, sorry, only things
sorry,
you have to
go on.
upload are two things. One is photograph and one is signature. If I remember, there's nothing else that needs to be uploaded. In also 10, 12 mark sheet or graduation, nothing has to be uploaded per se right now. Okay. So Sakshi, no, internship cannot work as a work experience for you. Okay. So shall I continue the questions or do we take them through these quick points?
Yeah, maybe you could take them through.
So
I'll take a look at all the.
right. So it is. Please stop me where you want to take a question. So don't lose communication, which means have your phone number that you are using and a good email ID that you might be using, or you have a new email ID or whatever. Make it for cat, but remember the password. Give a password to someone, maybe your parents or your siblings, so that you don't forget it. Right? कहीं पे तो डाल के रखो, right, so that you have an email id and a phone number which is working, because all the communication that will be done from by cat and by the colleges will be on the basis of this communication details that you send, including your address. Okay. One more suggestion is that you, if in case you don't want to use your primary email id and make a special email id, do that, because a lot of, once you put this on the cat website, this email id is going to become public information, and colleges are going to 50 colleges are going to reach out to you. So you might want to keep it separate. That is your choice, but have a working communication channel on email and on phone, right? Don't miss out on the important stuff. Now, what is this important stuff? Is all these proofs. So I will put this important stuff into 3 4 categories. Okay. One is your proof of the quota that you are applying in, basically, be it ews, as sir said, as maybe it's a physically weak and disabled, or SC ST OBC, whatever quota that you're applying for. Make sure you have something, some certificate or some proof for that, right? So have these things with you. Have your mark sheets with you. So college mark sheets, 10th 12th mark sheets, all the mark sheets, you have them with you. You have your photo and signature when you're filling the form. You have these things with you, right? Acha, make one more folder where you put all the data. Let's say cat ka admit card aega, zat ka admit card aega, nmat, snap, whatever admit cards come in. Maybe tomorrow there'll be fee receipts and everything. You have a proof of all of that. Tomorrow you will also have MDI form bhara hai, FMS ka form bhara hai, SPGen. So you, when you fill up the forms, you will have proofs and fee receipts and everything of that as well. So store it in a nice place. So all your important stuff, you put it in one place in such a way that you can find it when you need it. All right. So don't miss this important stuff, but get important stuff. Now, what is this get important stuff? So for example, work experience proofs that I was talking about, be it salary slips, be it offer letters or appointment letters, be it increment letters, all of the proofs that I was talking about, right? College ka aapka mark sheets, conversion formula, wherever you have it, so all of that. So keep all of this in a place where you can find it. Know your marks. There's one more interesting thing that I observed, and I mentioned in my video yesterday also, right? That for example, I had some marks. So I in the 10th standard I just wrote 82, but it would not take 82 because it was exactly 80.8. I remembered 82, so I put it 82. But now, since they have my total marks, 500 marks, may say I have 404 marks in my 10th, so that comes to 80.8 exactly. It won't even take 81. So there's an internal calculator. So you please calculate and put in the right one decimal place, rounded up to the one first decimal place. So these kind of things we will have to take. So know your marks, be exact. Don't be wrong on that data at all. Okay. Know your experience. Similarly, you should know exactly which date you had joined and when you left it. So I'm sure you have your experience letters when you left the organization, or a joining letter when you joined it. So have those dates right with you. Okay. Have write the designation correctly, the company name exactly. So try to put the data as it is, right? So know your experience, know what to apply, right? So which colleges you want to apply to, which courses you want to apply to. Now a lot of students, so Shivku was mentioning that जो हमने बोला कि सारा mark करना है तो सारा mark कर दो, mark all colleges if you want, and it is okay. But marking less is not going to help, because you will not get a chance maybe later on to correct it. So for example, if someone has this in mind, I am Ahmedabad hi jaunga. I'm just giving a very random example. I will go only I am Ahmedabad and I want to fill I am Ahmedabad PGP course only. Tomorrow, if there's a chance that I'm getting a call from a Indore, Kozhikode or a Bangalore, Calcutta, also I will not be able to do that because I have not ticked those colleges and those courses. Nothing wrong in no, as Shivku always says, over communicate. So overmark the no, check the boxes, no problem. Don't underdo it. Okay, so know what to apply for and go for it accordingly. Select your city carefully. For example, I'm sitting in Delhi, and if I put Chennai, right, I'm never going to Chennai in the next coming few months, or for my work, or for my at my home. No, so I no use putting Chennai out there. Put a city very with a thought process. So if you're putting 6 cities, at least the first 3 or 4 cities, put it very logically where you can reach. Okay. Okay, when in doubt, of course, reach out, ask. Where you can reach us at CL, right? You have support at the rate careerlauncher.com is where you can reach us, and we will try to help you out. So when in doubt, please feel free to ask. Do not panic. All right. So if there is an issue, as I said, check, cross check, double check, and ask, right? And reach out. So that is what you should do. And at the end of it, there should be no mistakes, right? Try not to make mistakes, and if you do, don't panic. Try to solve it. There is already an email ID that has been sent when you register, right, and fill the form. An email ID, support email ID, is sent to you by CAT, and there is a toll free number also. So without panicking, reach out, but try not to make these mistakes. So this is quickly what I wanted to say about it, Shivku.
So one of the things is, I think if so, be very careful while you're filling in the form. You do a dummy form filling kind of a thing, right? Uh, Make sure that you go through it couple of times. You don't want to end up having errors saying that, oh, I missed this, I put the pin code wrong, I put the email ID wrong, right? Remember, they might give you a chance to change a few of the things later, but not your name. Not, I mean, there's some mistakes that you cannot correct. In which case, you'll have to go back and refill the form, pay the amount all over again. Second, there is a toll-free number, but I don't expect them to really be very responsive to students, because I have not seen that happen, right? You can send mails to them, talk to them, but I think they have only so much capacity to handle queries. Don't expect that they are going to do a customer service like Amazon or somebody would do. That is not going to happen. A government colleges है, they will not have time to uh, kind of you can't just call up the admissions office of Lucknow and ask them what do I do, right? It's not likely that you will get too much of responses. You may send a mail to them, you might but expectation should be low. Agar ho jata hai to bahut achhi baat hai, right? So try not to submit without having rechecked it yourself a couple of times. Manish says, I have filled improvements in 3 subjects in my class 12th, and I have a new mark sheet of these 3 subjects. What score? If you have a new mark sheet, the final mark sheet is what you will fill in. Full stop. Right? Sir, I do not get 5th sem TK Anaya. Then I have completed this graduation. I'm supposed to calculate all 3 year marks or 6 semesters mark. All the 3 years marks. Anaya. Internship not included. Select city is, sir, select city is for which exam center? It depends. For example, sometimes for example, NCR might have Faridabad. I could choose Faridabad, Noida, or Ghaziabad, or Delhi, right? I mean, you can get anywhere in that place. So exam center. So it is possible that I place my preference for Jaipur as number 1 and Chandigarh as number 2 and something else as number 3, right? I might end up getting the third one, right? If I'm the last guy in that city to have filled the form, I might end up getting that. They might assign the centers as and when it comes in, because CAT also picks up colleges. It has got its capacity in each city. It doesn't have infinite capacity, right? If that capacity in the city is filled up, I don't think they're going to uh, give any more seats, right? Which means even if you have given your first preference is Jaipur, you might be shunted to Chandigarh to go and take the exam. So please fill it as early as possible. So that is the Abhishek. That is it. How to fill graduation in case student is essential reappear for one of his undergrad subjects. Uh, so whatever. So if I have filled in that I have passed out in. Uh, so um, if you have a uh, you know reappearing, I'm assuming that you still haven't got your certificate. You still have not finished your degree, which means you fill the third whatever is the final certificate that you have. So you still have not got a degree, you've not completed, right? Maybe you can fill till the third year or so.
Okay, a
I
lot of
filled.
students are
Go on.
asking about a gap year. So this is not a question for this particular session, but once and for all, I want to tell you that don't worry about gap years, right? Just to give you an example, we have a student last year who scored 100 percentile who has 4 gap years, 4 years of a gap. So please don't worry about it right now. You can't do much about it, so no use fretting over it, and it's not going to harm you in any way, right? So don't worry. Right.
Aditya, you can only fill in your till your pre-final year.
So one person is asking about Jain again and again. Uh, I don't have an answer to that, but I think you were asking about EWS. EWS category economically weaker section. If you belong to an economically weaker section, you have a certificate, it works, else it doesn't. Right. So that's all I have about that.
Sir, for work experience, is offer letter sufficient or do we have to have pay slips as well? Offer letter is good enough, right? So, but I need to know, see, offer letter is good enough if you have the last pay slip, right? Something has to, I mean, I can't say, yeah, I got work experience because I got an offer letter.
It's just an
So when you
offer,
go
right?
for the
Offer के बाद
when you
offer
go for the
acceptance
interview,
appointment.
when you go for the interview, there must be at least the first pay slip and the last pay slip to suggest that you have spent so much time.
Yes.
Maximum, there's nothing like that, Deepa. I mean, even right, there is nothing that they mention that we will not take people who have got more than 16 years. They don't do that. That's not MBA anyway.
Right. So I'm sure a lot of questions have been covered, and I'm sure a lot of questions we might have missed also. Please pardon us. There are actually hundreds of questions right now. So yeah, we are trying to take up as many as possible. Uh,
So
right.
maybe Sazeal, if you have to handle some questions, you could do that. I have got a class at 9:30. I'll kind of
Yes,
sign
I'm
off.
aware. Please proceed. Thank you
Thank
so
you. All
much.
the best, guys, and please do send whatever questions that you have. Right, we will be more than happy to answer your queries.
So, okay, thank you so much, Shivku. I will continue for a couple of minutes and before I leave, right? So, is 24 months of work experience considered good? Love Kush, दोनों आपका नाम है? Okay. So there's nothing called good work experience and bad work experience. You have work experience, you don't have work experience, right? Of course, if you talk about lateral placements and stuff like that, 2 years helps, right? It doesn't mean that 1 year won't work for you as a work experience, right? It might not work for laterals, but yeah, it would work anyway. So if it's about the PI, even if I have a 6 months work experience or 4 months work experience, I can still talk about it, right? Over and beyond whatever I do. So yeah, that's about it. My final mark sheets do not have the marks of the rest two subjects, which I didn't fill for improvement. I don't know what that means, Manish. I lost my cat ID and password. Okay, how did you lose it, beta? It is there in the mail ID. It is sent to your mail. तुमने जो mail register किया होगा, you will have it there. But if you've lost it, you might not be able to do it with the same mobile number. I think mobile number and email ID needs to be unique. That's what I know, right? Please check it. Okay. Now, a couple of more questions. Okay. Now, since I talked about work experience, someone asking what about freshers? Freshers, of course, freshers are always welcome because no B school says that they want only work ex or only freshers unless they have a executive MBA course. You're not applying to an executive MBA course, so it doesn't matter. Okay. There was another question which said, "Sir, can we not apply to an executive MBA?" Sorry, executive MBA course. If I'm a fresher, you can. They won't take you, but you want to apply, you apply. Nothing wrong with it. It might not help, right? So yeah. Okay. So now let me go on to the two important slides that I wanted to cover before we end it. I will still take some questions after I finish my the deck that I've brought in, right? So quickly. mm, okay, let me just quickly stop sharing. I think I've shared the wrong. Yeah. Okay. So you all know, and if you don't, let me tell you this, that RT99 Race to 99, which is probably the biggest event in the country for cat preparation, is here. Right. It is on 12th and 13th August online for everyone. Right. If you are a CL student, of course, you have to register for it. Everyone has to register for it. But it is free of cost if you're a CL student. If not, you have a small menial amount that you need to pay. You can go to the CL website and do that. You do the payment. For the CL students, you can do it on aspiration. You have when you enter the aspiration, you have in the center of it, you have a register button. So please register for the event. Without registration, you will not be able to participate in it. Okay, so do it right away. 12th and 13th August. It's a one time thing. So just do it. Right. There are 4 sessions which are going to be conducted in the offline online format. 2 sessions in the offline format for different slots. So we will be discussing CAT 2022 slot 2 in online exam and slot 1 in the offline format. Okay, so the top CL mentors, be it GP, Shivku, me, Jijo, all of us will be coming across and teaching you guys the test strategies and stuff like that, and we'll be discussing the CAT papers with you. So that is what is going to happen. Make sure you use this. All right, this is the QR code. If you want to take a screenshot of it or whatever, please do. It can help you to it'll take you there. So yeah. And this weekend, on 5th of this month, we have an AIMCAT coming up. AIMCAT, I'm sure you know, right, is uh, All India Open Mock CAT, right, which means a lot of students across India will be appearing for this mock, whatever, wherever they are preparing, right? So you can make use of that also and register for it, right? So, okay, having said that, coming back to the questions, quickly, I'll try to take a few questions and we will end in the next 10 minutes, guys, right? Sir, ideal CGPA in bachelor's is above what? There's nothing called ideal CGPA for CAT. Individual colleges may or may not have an ideal CGPA, right, or a cutoff or whatever, but there's nothing like ideal CGPA ever. Okay. uh, I have a 2 year work gap. I'm sure the work gap is good enough. Don't worry about it, right? Okay, some people are typing the same question and again. Virendra Suhag says female students and those from non-engineering background get some advantage, right? Yeah, if you're not a female, no use fretting over it, right? Okay, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. A little mark here doesn't matter really. थोड़ा सा percentage ऊपर नीचे होगा, right? So it doesn't matter. Sir, I have included all subjects which my college mark sheet has, but I learned today that they don't consider marks of one subject. No, CAT may you put all subjects, so you've done it right, Meghraj. Ekam, sir, I do not get the fifth sem mark sheet. It's okay. It's okay. So put it till fourth semester, right? Till what day we can calculate the experience? Till 31st of August, if I'm not wrong, or 31st of July. I think I'll have to check that, right? But please check it once. Uh, okay, I think we have covered most of the questions, and the questions are repeating. I'm deliberately avoiding the question, which is the person who's putting the question 10, 15 times. Uh, okay. Okay, this is a good point where we can end the session. I am sure you have a lot of questions. We'll have more sessions like these. In fact, there's one more session coming up where we'll be discussing how to select college form filling, which all exams to give, why to give other exams, whether which exams not to give, and so on and so forth. Kitna paisa dalna chahiye in the form filling and everything, right? So all of these questions we are going to answer, right, in the subsequent session. So any questions which are left out can be taken up later also. I wish you all the best. Be very careful when you fill the form, and do good, right? I'm sure we will succeed. Thank you so much, guys, and have a great day. All right. Good night. Good night, people. Good night, Manish. Thank you. Thank you, Virendra. Bye bye.